Hey, what's up guys? Sony has gone with a new modern look for its flagship phone, the Xperia XZ2. But that's not the only thing that's changed. Let's check it out. I'm Will for GSM Arena, and this is our Sony Xperia XZ2 review. Sony is kicking off 2018 with a brand new design for their flagship phones. Say goodbye to the boxy, squared-off look of the past. The Xperia XZ2 still has square corners, but the mirrored surface now tapers down to a rounded edge. It's not seamless. There's a ridge where the glass and the aluminum frame meet. The arched glass back does look stunning. The curves reflect light and really catch the eye. The downside of all these curves is that the XZ2 is really slippery. It's pretty hard to use if it's lying on a flat surface. The build is solid though. It's not a fragile phone, and is fully dust and water resistant with both IP65 and IP68 certification. The screen of the XZ2 is a 5.7-inch IPS LCD with full HD resolution. The top and bottom bezels are smaller than last year, resulting in a taller 18:9 aspect ratio, a first for Sony. The screen is pretty bright, and legibility outdoors is decent, but not outstanding. The same can be said for the deepness of the blacks, but it's not bad for an LCD. Colors are a little on the bluish side, but you can make them super vivid in settings. The XZ2 has support for Hdr Video Playback like the XZ1 had. With HDR content, you'll see more detail in highlights and shadows than normal SDR video. Not many providers are offering HDR to the XZ2 just yet, but hopefully that changes soon. One big change from last year is the lack of a 3.5mm headphone jack. You'll have to use a pair of wireless headphones or a dongle. Sony did say that a dongle with a splitter will come bundled with the phone, which will allow you to charge while the headphones are plugged in. If you switch to speakers, the XZ2 has a stereo setup that's one of the better ones we've listened to. The sound is rich, the speakers are nice and loud, and best of all, balanced. A new feature unique to the XZ2 is dynamic vibration. It analyzes the sound output and vibrates along with it at different intensity settings. It makes your content a lot more immersive. To unlock the phone, the Fingerprint Reader is rear-mounted, unlike Sony's older side-mounted models. It's always ready for your touch, and it's pretty fast. The placement is a bit strange. It's right below the camera, and both are lower than you'd expect, so be careful or you'll accidentally smudge your lens. The new camera placement does have an advantage, however. Now you can grip your phone without worrying about your fingers getting in the shot. Storage is expandable on the XZ2 on top of the 64 gigs already on board, and opening the slot will turn off the phone. For the user interface, we get Android 8 Oreo out of the box. The UI is pretty similar to what we're used to from Sony. Swiping down from the home screen shows you your most used apps, along with recommendations for new ones. There's not a lot of bloatware, but we do get some nice multimedia apps from Sony. The theme store offers a lot of options to customize the look of your home screen. There is a new interactive phone assistant which can help you learn all of the phone's features, as well as the tools panel that organizes your phone management options into one convenient place. The XZ2 is one of the first devices to have a next-gen Snapdragon 845 chipset. Working with 4 gigs of RAM, benchmark performance is excellent, around 30% better than last year's Snapdragon phones, though the iPhone X still holds its own. In regular use, there aren't any slowdowns on the XZ2. Everything feels nice and snappy. Compared to last year, the XZ2 has an even larger battery pack. It scored a great 88-hour endurance rating in our proprietary tests. Charging speed is decent, but not as fast as the XZ1. We were able to get from 0 to 45% in 30 minutes. The XZ2 supports Qi wireless charging too, another first for Sony. The 19-megapixel f2.0 single shooter is the same motion-eye camera we've seen in last year's XZ1, as well as other recent Sony phones. But the new chipset enables more advanced image processing, and the RAM buffer allows for 5 times faster readout of the sensor, reducing rolling shutter. In good light, shots are sharp from edge to edge and have plenty of detail, accurate colors, and wide dynamic range. The noise suppression has been dialed down from last year, resulting in slightly more noise if pixel peeping, but also slightly more detail. The new processing is also quite evident in low-light shots, resulting in fewer artifacts. Quality has improved a bit over last year's XZ phones, but there's still no OIS. For best results, a tripod is the way to go. Back from before is Predictive Capture. When the phone detects fast movement, it records a few shots before you press the shutter, so it's easier to catch the moment. Following the latest trends, you can take portrait shots with a blurred background behind your subject. The bokeh effect is all done through software with a separate app. The blur isn't too accurate. The 5-megapixel selfie camera seems like a step down from the XZ1s on paper. But actually, shots are quite nice looking, with good sharpness and plenty of dynamic range. We only wish they had kept the autofocus on board. Why stick to flat selfies though if you can make a 3D one? Sony's 3D Creator now works through the front-facing cam. It's now easier to use and more accurate, and the results are quite charming. 4K video quality is really nice. Clips have plenty of detail, great contrast and dynamic range, and accurate colors. The only slight issue we had was a small wobble, which we believe is due to micro focus adjustments. Whatever it is, it's not needed and ruined some of our videos. But why stop at 4K? For the first time on a smartphone, video can be recorded in 4K HDR, giving you more true-to-life colors, better contrast, and more details in the shade. Unfortunately, you can't see the benefits unless you play back on a 4K HDR compatible screen. The camera also brings back 960fps super slow-mo video, but now you can shoot in 1080p, not just 720. But since it's all limited by the same RAM buffer, the time frame is cut in half at 1080, making it harder to catch the moment. If you can get it right though, the results can be quite impressive. So, the Xperia XZ2. It's a flagship phone by the book, but it's nice that Sony is willing to take a chance with a fresh new design and features. We like the taller screen, the new options for video recording, and dynamic vibration is quite unique. Not everything about the build is spot on though, and people who like the old style might have mixed feelings about the changes, such as the lack of an audio jack. But Sony is still experimenting, and we're excited to see what will happen next. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. And you're always welcome to stop by gsmarina.com for our full test findings. See ya!